Hey guys, so I had the stream on the night of, well, the early morning of January the 14th, 2024. That was back when I was still in Ecuador in the Amazon. So yeah, the night through from January the 13th through to January the 14th, 2024. Once again, I must start out this video by pointing out explicitly that because of the nature of the circumstances I find myself in at this stage in my life where I am preparing to take decisive legal action to address head-on massive financial abuse and domestic violence in my family, I can't, for this reason, speak to whether I think the stream is prophetic. I'm just saying it's a dream I had. I have to protect myself legally. I'll be in a position to speak more openly and freely about it once I've won the case, which I'm going to. I don't have a leg to stand on, but yeah, so I have to be careful in my wording. Just have to put that little disclaimer out, and I'll do the full version in the future. This is just a preview. I've realized that I can phrase these videos in such a way that I can still put stuff out here at this time, but I have to pick my words carefully. I can't do the full versions of the videos. I'll leave those for the future, but this is a way I can still keep some momentum for the channel going. So in this dream, it was really simple. I was shown the former president of Brazil. I think his first name is Jair Bolsonaro. I know that's his surname. I think he's currently in exile overseas, political exile. The new president, Lula, is a socialist, and those two, I mean, they really don't get on, those two camps. They're bitter enemies, and yeah, there's not to take a side, but it does look from an objective, neutral perspective as though that election may have been stolen when Lula won recently. But I'm not taking a political position there. This is just a neutral observation, just being honest. In any case, Jair Bolsonaro is no longer the president of Brazil. In the stream, I was showing him returning to Brazil, and he was returning to his role as president. Well, he had. And in the dream, it was at a time in history where we were in World War III as a planet. And if you imagine a bell curve, we were about 40% in to World War III. World War III. And I saw Jair Bolsonaro looking very serious and sitting down with other heads of state, and I saw him making the call, getting chills now, making the call, and he was announcing that Brazil was entering World War III, and on the side of the Allies, and they were deploying, they were sending troops to fight overseas, and they were going all in. They were joining the war, and it was pretty much it. It was pretty simple, pretty quick dream, but with important ramifications. I will say once again, without speaking as to whether I believe they were prophetic or not. I'm just, for legal reasons, I have to say I'm just talking about dreams that I'm having. Once again, I can speak more openly and freely about them and in more detail in the future. But I've had, a series of dreams about Argentina and Chile, and in one of the dreams about Argentina, I was shown that elites, positive elites, because they're not all bad, in the US were working to set up civilian refugee corridors, so that the millions upon millions of people from Canada, the United States, New Zealand, Australia, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, the UK, Ireland, Poland, Norway, every country in the Western world who wanted to flee the war, because not everyone's going to be able to flee it. The lucky ones, only the lucky ones will have the choice to flee, because you'll need the money to escape. And a lot of people are, if this does happen, okay, that's the qualifier. If this does happen, if this did hypothetically happen, I have to be careful with my wording again. Yeah, only the people with enough money would be in a position to emigrate to safety and to these safe zone countries. But I was shown in the stream that American elites of the more conservative, rural Christian type were actively working with the heads of state of Chile, Brazil, and Argentina, ABC, Southern Cone region of South America, and they were setting it up so that our people of the Western world would have a safe refuge, those who had the means to escape, so that, in the dream, in these dreams, it was like, just complete slaughter and horror, just horrors beyond your imagination, as our countries were invaded. And, those who could were just desperate, running for their lives, fleeing the horrors of nuclear war and just all out total war. And there was safety in Chile. There was safety in Argentina. I've had dreams where I was shown that clearly. I haven't had it about Brazil, but I strongly suspect that, if something like this were to take place, that Brazil, especially the south of Brazil, would be another safe refuge zone. In any case, in these dreams, the elites were working together. And they were setting it up so, like tens of millions of people were basically, it was millions upon millions of Western refugees were arriving in the south of South America, and which is a good thing. So that's a related point. It's not just that, Brazil was entering the war, that I was being shown that, but that I've had related dreams where, there was active coordination to provide, basically civilian evacuation corridors, and then so that people from the same cultural group of nations, Argentina, if you look at their population, most of them have Italian and Spanish descent. Chile is, Spanish speaking. A lot of people, most people there have Spanish descent. And Brazil obviously is a Lusophone country. They speak Portuguese, so most people there have at least some Portuguese descent. So they have, these countries are Latin American. They're different culturally, but they have the primary cultural origin and DNA of these countries is from Western Europe, and what I was being shown in the dreams is not just that some of these countries will have a role. Some of these countries were having a role in this war that I was being shown in the dreams, but that they also had a role as life rafts and arcs of safety and peace and stability in a world on fire, consumed by war. And these dreams, other people have dreamed about these things. Of course, you can see that in the playlist. Like, this war was just consuming almost the entire planet. The whole planet knew what was going on, and all the major countries were involved. There weren't that many safe places you could go. And the Southern Cone region of South America, if something like this, hypothetically, again, watching my words, how I speak, ever were to happen, would probably be, along with South Africa, the safest place in the world, because most of the world's landmass is in the Northern Hemisphere, in Eurasia and on North America. And if nuclear war were to go down, then most of the nukes would be going off in North America and in Europe and in Russia. And because of atmospheric circulation patterns in the Earth's winds around the planet, most of the radiation will stay in the Northern Hemisphere. Some will cross over into the Southern Hemisphere, but even the little that does will be rapidly dispersed by the winds which blow around the Southern Ocean. So the Southern Ocean encircles Antarctica, and the winds just go around and around and around and around and around. That's why they call them the Roaring 40s and the Furious 50s down here. And I mean, the Southern Hemisphere is mostly ocean. So if the scenario were to go down, a full-blown, World War III would be full-blown nuclear war, then the Southern Hemisphere will be protected from nuclear radiation and nuclear fallout. And I did actually have a dream in which I was shown Argentina and Chile will be in like that. Yeah, the southern parts of South America will be protected for those reasons. So those are other points that it's good to bring up. So yeah, and I have looked at other videos of people's dreams that they believe are prophetic online, and I have found at least one where someone was shown, and this person has had many prophetic dreams that have come to pass, and they were shown Brazil entering World War III on the side of the Allies. So yeah, again, for legal reasons, I know I'm repeating myself for like the fourth time. I can't say that I think my dream was prophetic. I'm just saying it was something I dreamt, but it is interesting that other people have dreamt the same thing. So I'll speak more openly and freely about it in the future, but there's a good preview for now. Thanks.